Excuse me. Hi, my name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one that you had envisioned for yourself, but time marches on, and you better figure it the hell out because sitting around feeling sorry for yourself is just not a winning strategy. Trust me, I tried that. It doesn't do you any good. Um, I talked about this last month because it's important and it's something that a lot of us face. And it's funny because I'm really outgoing and people assume that I'm very extroverted. And I mean, I kind of am. I'm an outgoing introvert. I I can strike up a conversation with a fence post, truly. But excuse me. But even I can really struggle sometimes with social anxiety, especially going to a big party. Now, I will say that's gotten worse with my issues, which I find really interesting. Um, but it's funny because people argue with me, "Well, you're not introverted." No, I really am. I think I know myself a little bit better than somebody else does. But as outgoing, and I said this already, sorry, but as outgoing as I am, even I can struggle with social anxiety sometimes. In the holidays, there's a lot of socializing going on. And sometimes it's with people that we're not real comfortable with in the first place. Here's the deal with social anxiety. You know what it is? You know what causes it? We project our beliefs about ourselves onto other people. We assume that other people are judging us in the same way that we judge ourselves, which I'll be honest with you, that very rarely happens. So here's some advice from psychcentral.com. Number one, don't expect anything. People put so much pressure on themselves for the holidays to be just perfect. Well, you know what? Perfect doesn't exist except for in movies and magazines. That's it. There is no such thing as perfection in real life. You can't, you got to let go of that idea because if you're trying to chase something that doesn't exist, you're just going to make yourself and everybody around you crazy. Now, the flip side of that is don't go into it expecting it to be a complete train wreck. If you put negative expectations out there, they're likely to come true. You just you just need to go into it with an open mind and accept whatever comes your way. Number 2, you need to remember that you're going to be just fine. No matter how the event turns out, it has nothing to do with who you are as a human being. Even if you embarrass yourself, one evening really isn't likely to change who you are. Are you worried about family tensions? A lot of people do this time of year. Set a time limit before you go. Okay, I have to go. I have to go because I want to make my mom happy. I have to go because whatever your reason is, you can go and fulfill that obligation. But just tell yourself, I'm staying for 90 minutes. And when that 90 minutes is up, just go. Just gracefully excuse yourself. Your obligation has been met. You don't have to feel guilty. Number 3, you need to know that most people are so caught up in their own nonsense, they're not going to worry about you that much. It's true that people really don't spend as much time thinking about us as we like to pretend that they do. Is your Uncle Bob being a horse's ass? Okay, ignore him. Just limit your direct contact with him, limit your direct interactions with him. Other people's opinions, I don't care who it is, other people's opinions only carry as much weight as we choose to give them. Number 4, speaking of opinions, tell your inner critic to shove it. Give her the night off, or him, give him the night off. Take a break. No one will ever judge you as harshly as you judge yourself. You need to remember that that inner voice lies to you. And when it starts, I know this sounds really cheesy and simplistic, but I'm telling you, it works. Just tell yourself that's not true. Because logically, you know, whatever that crap is going into your head, you know it's not true. Number 5, don't buy into toxic behavior. How others treat you truly is not a reflection upon you. It's a reflection of them. It's about them. It's how they view themselves in the world. And some people just have the need to try to tear you down to make themselves feel better. Well, okay. And why would you let somebody like that upset you? Now, I know it's easier said than done, but don't give your power to somebody like that. If somebody starts on you, excuse yourself, move to another part of the room, find someone else to talk to. Hell, you can always go in and do the dishes. That'll buy you a lot of brownie points with whoever's hosting. And you know what? Worst case scenario, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, let them find another victim. Give it a couple minutes and then come back. Number 6, let it go. Let it go. You cannot control other people. You're never going to be able to. You can only control how you choose to respond. Set boundaries and stick with them. Yeah, Uncle Bob, thanks for the input, but we're not going to discuss this right now. This is a family get together, and it's not the time or the place to have this conversation. And just stick to that. Look, just because somebody wants to drag you into drama, you don't have to sit down and play into it. And you don't have to let them ruin your night. You really don't. Just let it go. Here's a bonus. You want a good conversation starter? Look, there's almost always going to be somebody. If you have a very large family at all, there's going to be somebody there that you don't know well, somebody's boyfriend, somebody's girlfriend. Go up and start a conversation with them. Pay them a sincere compliment. People love sincere compliments. It makes you automatically more likable. It's a great icebreaker. But you got to remember, even if it's a difficult evening, it's one evening. It's just a few hours out of your life. In the big picture, that's nothing. That's nothing. So try to go into it with an open heart and an open mind and choose the attitude that you want to have. Again, you can't control what other people do, but you can decide before you walk through the door that you're going to control how you choose to respond. You can control what kind of attitude you walk through that door with. And if you walk in there ready to go to battle, then you're going to get it. But if you walk in there with a good mood, a good attitude, and you know what, just remind yourself, this is just a couple of, maybe you set your time limit. I've only got to do this for 90 minutes. You can do anything for 90 minutes. Okay. I promise you can do this. Just go in, enjoy yourself as much as possible. And you know what, worst case scenario, you got 90 minutes that aren't real pleasant, but you've probably made somebody in your family really, really happy by showing up. So focus your attention on that instead of on anything unpleasant that happens. But that's all I have. I am flying back to Alaska tomorrow. I have very mixed feelings because it's colder than hell there, but I need to go home for a little bit. I just went blank. I have a raging headache, and it's because of barometric. As everybody knows, the weather's changing pretty much all over the country. It's about to get really cold, and the barometric pressure, unfortunately, severely impacts me. And I have a raging headache, and I still got to pack. So, you guys take care. Have a great night. I will be back Friday. Well, yeah, I'm going to stick with 7 o'clock Central. That'll be 4 o'clock in Alaska. I got to remember that. But I will be back at 7 o'clock Central on Friday.